They say the entire cosmos rests on the roots and branches of a single tree. But what if I told you that tree is not a symbol, not a metaphor, but the very backbone of existence? The story of Yggdrasil is not just about a tree. It's about life, death, fate, and the fragile balance that ties every world together. Today, we are diving into the heart of Norse mythology to explore the tree that holds 9 worlds within its roots and branches. But before we climb higher, let me ask you to subscribe. That way, you'll never miss a journey into the myths that shaped cultures, and maybe even shaped the way we see our universe today. Now, let's step closer. Imagine standing in a forest so vast that no horizon can capture its end. In the middle of it towers a tree, its trunk stretching so far into the sky that clouds wrap themselves around it like scarves. The roots dig deeper than mountains, twisting into the unseen darkness below. This is Yggdrasil, the world tree. To the Norse people, it was not just a myth. It was the map of the cosmos itself. Yggdrasil's branches cradle 9 worlds. Each world is its own realm, with its own people, its own rules, and its own destiny. High above lies Asgard, the home of the gods, proud, shining, and unreachable to mortals. Beneath it lies Midgard, the realm of humans, surrounded by an endless ocean and guarded by a serpent that encircles the world. And further still, hidden in the cold shadows, lies Niflheim, a place of ice and mist, and Muspelheim, a land of raging fire. But Yggdrasil is not a silent tree. No, it is alive, teeming with creatures and whispers of fate. A great eagle sits at its top, its eyes sharp enough to see across the worlds. Between its eyes, a hawk rests, messengers darting from world to world. A squirrel named Ratatoska scurries endlessly up and down its trunk, carrying insults between the eagle above and the dragon Nidhogg gnawing at its roots below. And around the roots, serpents writhe and bite, threatening to tear the very foundation apart. Now, here lies the challenge. How can a tree so grand, so powerful, be constantly under attack? The truth is, Yggdrasil is both eternal and fragile. The Norse people believed that life itself mirrored this tension. No matter how strong, everything is vulnerable. The gods may be mighty, but even they depend on the health of Yggdrasil. If the tree falls, all 9 worlds collapse with it. Let's pause for a moment. Think of a time in your life when something felt unshakable. Maybe a friendship, a job, a home. Then suddenly, cracks began to appear. That's Yggdrasil, a reminder that nothing stands alone. Strength always comes with vulnerability. So, what makes Yggdrasil so important? It is not only the structure of the worlds, but also the stage where fate is written. At its roots lies the Well of Erd, where the 3 Norns dwell, past, present, and future. Every day, they carve runes into the bark, deciding the destinies of gods and men alike. Imagine them, silent, stern, dipping their hands into the waters of fate, weaving time itself. Even Odin, the All-Father, bows before their power. Not even he can escape what is written into the bark of Yggdrasil. Odin's story itself is tied to this tree. He once hung from its branches for 9 long nights, pierced by his own spear, sacrificing himself to himself. Why? To gain wisdom. From Yggdrasil, he grasped the runes, the secret language of the universe. Picture the agony, the cold wind biting his flesh, his vision blurring, blood dripping into the roots below. Yet through this suffering, he reached into the unknown and brought back knowledge. From pain came power. From sacrifice came understanding. But here's the twist. If Yggdrasil is so sacred, why does it suffer? Why does the dragon gnaw at its roots? Why do the serpents coil around its base? Why must the Norns water it daily to keep it alive? Because in Norse mythology, nothing is perfect. Perfection doesn't last. The universe is not a polished jewel. It is raw, scarred, and constantly in motion. Yggdrasil reflects this eternal struggle. It grows, it decays, it heals, it suffers, just like us. And then there's the looming shadow of Ragnarok, the end of all things. Prophecies tell us that Yggdrasil will tremble, its branches shattering, its roots quaking as the worlds collapse into chaos. Fire and ice will clash, gods will fall, and the world tree itself will shiver with pain. Yet, and this is crucial, Yggdrasil will not die. Even after the flames, even after the end, it will endure. From its ashes, life will grow again. This cycle of destruction and rebirth is not just mythology. It's the story of existence itself. Let's circle back. Remember that squirrel Ratatoska running up and down with insults? On the surface, it seems almost silly. A squirrel carrying petty words between creatures of immense power. But here's the hidden truth. Small actions ripple across the entire tree. What seems insignificant, a whisper, a quarrel, can spread and shake the balance of worlds. Doesn't that mirror our lives? One word, one choice, one action can spiral into something that changes everything. Now, imagine being a Norse farmer, living in the harsh cold of Scandinavia 1,000 years ago. You wake up to frozen fields, uncertain if you'll survive the winter. And above you, in your stories, is Yggdrasil, a tree holding not just gods and monsters, but the entire order of existence. It's not hard to see why this myth mattered so deeply. It gave meaning to suffering. It explained why even the gods struggled, why even the strongest faced doom, and why, after every ending, there is a chance for a new beginning. The climax of this story lies not in Yggdrasil's grandeur, but in its fragility. It stands as a paradox, eternal yet wounded, strong yet under attack, sacred yet vulnerable. That paradox is what makes it powerful, because it reflects the truth we all feel but rarely admit, that life is never safe, yet it is always worth living. So what does Yggdrasil teach us? That everything is connected. The gods, the humans, the monsters, the dead, all tied to the same roots, all reaching toward the same sky. That fate is real, but choice still matters. That endings are terrifying, but they also make way for beginnings. When you next see a tree, look at its roots, its branches, its scars, and its leaves. Remember Yggdrasil. Remember that even the mightiest tree is vulnerable. But also, remember this. Even when it shakes, even when it suffers, it still holds the worlds together. And if a tree can do that, perhaps so can we. Subscribe if you want to keep climbing the branches of mythology with me.